Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable person, my lectures, Mr. Fuad Abdullah, and all the students in this class. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are in the good conditions. First of all, I would like to say thank you for coming in our presentation. And then let us thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, because of His blessing, we can come here to join in this course. In this time, I am Aldy Ramadhana, as a moderator, will guide you in this presentation about the materials genre-based pedagogy. Today's presentation will be provided by third group, and the members are Aldy Ramadhana, that is myself, Hilda Sri Kastury, Redita Juliani Supratman, Rahma Suryani, and Widyawati. Before we start the presentation, let me introduce the materials. There are first, definition of genre, second, pedagogic relations, third, pedagogic activity, fourth, the pedagogic modalities, and last, knowledge and value. Alright everyone, without further ado, let's begin this presentation with the first material, which is about definition of genre, which will be delivered by Rahma Suryani. For Rahma, time is yours.
Thank you, the moderator, for the opportunity. My name is Rahma Suryani with ID numbers 2021-2014. I will explain the material about definition of genre. Gender-based pedagogy or genre is a pedagogical concept that evolved at the University of Sydney in Australia to help students improve their academic writing skills by providing explicit instruction on a text type and highlighting the text linguistic resources. Theoretically, SFL is a consultant for genre creation. Language theory, which is concerned with how people get things done with language and other semiotic systems within the cultural settings in which they interact, as well as how the use of language and other semiotic systems shape the formation of cultural semiotic system, is addressed by SFL according Holiday and Mahisens 2004. Systemic and functional are two of the primary notions in SFL that describe social environments for people to get things done through language. Enough from me, thank you. Back to the moderator.
Thank you very much, Rahma, for the explanations. So we are going to the next materials. That's about pedagogic relations, will be delivered by Rahma and Hilda. For Rahma and Hilda, time is yours.
Thank you, the moderator, for the opportunity. I will explain the material about pedagogic relation. In classroom discourse, pedagogic relations are enacted as teacher or learner exchange. There are two general types of exchange, of knowledge or action. In an action exchange, one person performs an action which may have been demanded by another. The person performing the action is known as the primary actor or A1. The person demanding the action is a secondary actor or A2. After Martin 1992, Martin and Rose 2007, following Berry 1981. Action exchange are consummated by the A1 performance. A minimal action exchange consists of just an A1 action without an A2 demand, so A1 is the core role in an action exchange. From a grammatical perspective, the A2 demand in Table 2, Exchange 1 includes three moves, realized as three clauses. The first, do you want to come up on the smartboard? Second, and write the heading for us in the middle. Third, just write the water cycle. From this perspective, it may be analyzed as a move complex according to Martin in 1992, Martin and Rose 2007. But from the perspective of speakers' roles in the pedagogic exchange, it is one functional unit. So we will refer to such A or K units as exchange roles. An exchange is realized by a sequence of one or more rules, each of which is realized by one or more moves. Enough from me, thank you. next will be delivered by Hilda.
Well, thanks to the previous presenters, now I will continue the material about pedagogic relations. So, in the exchange of knowledge, the person who provides the information is the one who knows the primary or K1. Meanwhile, a person who demands or receives information is a person who knows or K2. So, the questioner is K2 and the answer is K1. Evaluation of students' knowledge is the core role of K1 in teacher or student exchanges. Teachers have the authority to evaluate knowledge, so teachers usually take the role of primary knowledge or K1. Learner knowledge is rated by teacher evaluation, so students are usually in secondary knowledge roles or K2. The teacher's K1 evaluation was postponed until after the student's response, so the teacher's questions is referred to as delayed K1 movement or DK1. As with action exchanges, the sequence of DK1 questions, K2 response, and K1 evaluation is expected by the curriculum genre and asymmetric pedagogic relation. Students are expected to display their knowledge in response to teachers' DK1 demands and to be evaluated. Here are some structure in options for knowledge exchange. The first option, K1, is performed by the teacher simply by giving information. And then the second option is DK1, and then K2, and then K1 is illustrated in Table 3, Exchange 2 above, in which the teacher's K1 evaluation is anticipated by delayed by questions or DK1 and learner response or K2. And then final options, K2 and then K1 is less common, in which a student may ask questions of the teacher or the teacher may ask a student for information that she doesn't already know. Here are some options for action exchanges. The first option, A1, is performed by the teacher, such as handing out equipment or reading aloud. And then the second option, DA1, and then A2, and then A1. For example, a student may ask permission for an action or DA1, and then the teacher gives permissions or A2, and then the student performs the action. It is A1. And then the third option, A2 and then A1, is illustrated in Table 2, Exchange 1 above, in which the teacher directs students' activity or behavior. In addition to these most frequent types or exchange moves, teacher and students may also follow up an A1 move with thanks or follow up a K1 move with a comment. This can be labeled as follow-ups like A1F or A2F and K1F or K2F. Moves may also be tracked to clarify understanding and challenge. This can be labeled as tracking or TR, and then response to tracking or LTR, and then challenge or CH, and then response to challenge or RCH. Alright, here is an example. Kita bisa lihat di tabel di atas. Speakernya adalah teacher, exchange-nya adalah what's this third dot point, which sections of our rating we will label it as. Nah, ini merupakan rules-nya di K1. Kenapa? Karena ini merupakan pertanyaan yang nantinya itu akan dievaluasi di akhir. Jadi, evaluasi itu kan disebutnya K1. Nah, sedangkan evaluasi itu ditunda sampai adanya respon siswa. Jadi, kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan yang nantinya akan dievaluasi, itu merupakan di K1. Lalu sini student pun menjawab step 1. Nah, itu merupakan K2 karena students respond. Lalu teachernya pun menjawab kembali it's part of step 1. Itu merupakan tracking, and itu merupakan K1 atau evaluasi dari pertanyaan yang sebelumnya yang telah diajukan, ataupun penegasan dari guru terhadap students response. Lalu teachernya pun bertanya kembali, so how am I going to show that in our reward? Itu merupakan di K1 karena tadi merupakan pertanyaan yang nantinya akan dievaluasi. Lalu student pun menjawab start a new paragraph. Itu merupakan K2 karena student response. Lalu teacher pun menjawab kembali start new paragraph. Fantastic. Itu merupakan K1 karena merupakan penegasan kembali dari student response ataupun evaluasi dari pertanyaan yang telah diajukan. Maybe that's all from me. I will return to the moderator.
Thank you, Rahma and Hilda, who has explained the material. Next to the third material regarding Pedagogic Activity will be delivered by Redita Juliani Supratman. To Redita, time is yours.
Alright, thank you moderator for the opportunity. My name is Redita Juliani Supratman with students number 2021-22007. On this occasion, I will present material about pedagogic activity. Knowledge of all kinds is acquired through pedagogic activity. At the core of pedagogic activities are learning tasks. Only the learner can do the task. A teacher cannot do it for them. However, a learning task is usually specified by a teacher, orally or writing. This is an orbital type of structure in which elements are more or less central and more or less optional. The learner's task is the core of the activity. Focus and evaluate pieces are nuclear and usually present, while prepare and elaborate pieces are marginal and more optional. Sequencing is not fixed in orbital structures. The typical sequence is prepare, focus, task, evaluate, elaborate. But teachers may prepare after the focus or elaborate before the evaluation. The orbital structure of pedagogic activity is a general structuring potential. But pedagogic activity is also organized hierarchically. It is a sequence of larger units composed of smaller units. As the genres are realized by tasks, a curriculum genre is realized by a lesson. Each lesson is composed of one or more lesson stages. Each lesson stage is composed of one or more learning activities. As our analysis unfolds below, we will see that each lesson activity is composed of one or more learning cycles. Each of these rank is realized by the orbital structure of pedagogic activity, with a task at its core. Pedagogic activity or field is negotiated by pedagogic relation or tenor. Learning cycles are enacted as a teacher or learner exchange, as a message is negotiated as a statement or question. At its simplest, the focus is enacted as a teacher's K1 role, followed by a learner's K2 response, followed by the teacher's K1 evaluation. The learner's task is to respond to the teacher's focus. The focus specifies the type of response expected. Students' tasks in classroom exchange are most generally to either propose an idea from their knowledge or identify an element in a text. The learner's task is to respond to the teacher's focus. The focus specifies the type of response expected. Students' tasks in classroom exchange are most generally to either propose an idea from their knowledge or identify an element in a text. Relation between cycle pieces may be analyzed in more detail to show the nature of students' tasks and how they are prepared, specified, evaluated, and elaborated. In the table 12, exchange 10, the teacher first prepares the activity with the structure of genre to be written, and then specifies the first lexical item in the sentence's order. Table 12, exchange 10. Specifying cycle pieces. Speaker, teacher, exchange. So we're going to follow the same pattern in our writing as the text that we've just read. We need to have the same introduction, identify what is we're going to talk about, more through the step, and finish it with a conclusion. Roles is K1, participation is class, paces is prepare, specific paces function is writing activity genre structure. Exchange, we're going to start with order. Specific pace function is item, exchange, what is the order doing? Roles, DK1, participation is class, paces is focus, specific pace function is item. Speaker is student 1, exchange, moving, roles is K2, participation is S1, paces is proposed, specific pace function is item. Speaker is teacher, exchange is moving, roles K2, participation is S1, specific base function is repeat. Exchange, okay, good, specific base function is approve. I think that's enough from me. I give it back to moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Redita, who has explained the materials about pedagogy activity. So we are going to the next materials about pedagogy modalities. Will be delivered by Rahma. For Rahma, time is yours.
Thank you to moderator for the opportunity. I will explain the material about pedagogic modalities. Pedagogic modalities include spoken, written, visual, gestural, and manual modes of communication. Pedagogic modalities piece together pedagogic relation, activities, and knowledge as classroom discourse. All these modalities may be in place simultaneously. They are deployed in various ways to bring meanings into the discourse and to manipulate meanings. For example, in Figure 14, the teacher gestures as she orally explained relation between a visual diagram and written caption on the board. A student is also manually highlighting captions in his own copy on the diagram. Enough from me, thank you. Back to the moderator.
Thank you very much for the presenter who has explained the material about pedagogy modalities. Alright everyone, we are going to the last materials about the knowledge and value will be delivered by myself. So the knowledge and value. The knowledge exchange in a curriculum genre is realized by lexical items, lexical relations, and reference relation between items. But briefly, in lexical relations, there are several points, include nuclear relations, activity sequences, and taxonomic relations. Nuclear relations between processes, people, things, places, and qualities in activity. So those part is related with the knowledge, but include in nuclear relations. It means between in nuclear relations. Next is activity sequences. Activity sequences that construe unfolding series of activity. It means we can say that activity sequence like interpretations in the activities. And last is taxonomic relations. Taxonomic relation between lexical elements in a text, including repetition, synonym, contrast, metonymy, and hyponymy. Lexical element in a text, it's like repetition and any others. It means like have a relation with taxonomy. So we can say that in the sentence or genre in base pedagogy, for example, like activity classroom or teaching classroom, if they have repetition, synonym, or contrast, or metonymy and hyponymy talk each other, so we can say that is the knowledge from genre or curriculum genre. Besides that, there are both knowledge and pedagogic activity may be given value by appraisals, model responsibility, vocation, and participation in the exchange. First is appraisals. Appraisals include attitude, graduations of these attitudes, and engagement. But in the attitudes, there have several points or several parts to relate it with the attitude. There are affect, judgments of people, and appreciation of things. Next is model responsibility. Model responsibility refers to the responsibility assigned to participants. For example, when the teacher used the sentence or the teacher said, "We are going to blah 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 blah." We are going to, it means give responsibility to the participants, and the participants, there are students who will think their tasks or instructions from the teacher. So it means we can say that responsibility assigned. Third is vocation. Vocation is the term used to address participants. such as students' names, as we know, like my name, Aldy, or Hanif, Andika, Fatih, Raihan, Rivaldi, and any other students' names, or teacher honorifics. For example, Sir, Miss, and Ma'am. There are three teacher honorific as we know until now. So we can say the address participants is term used in the vocation. Last is participation in the exchange. Participation in the exchange is like interactively in the activity. For example, like teaching, learning in classroom. It will be there have talk each other, like giving instruction or giving tasks or greeting and any others. So we can say that's interactively in the activity. Alright everyone, that's all explanation about genre-based pedagogy from our group. Thank you for all the presenters about the explanations. It's very helpful and hopefully will give benefit for us. That's enough from me. Thanks for your attention. I'm sorry if there are any mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.